Up next, get out your bricks and mortar. Our Rent-A-Husband will show you how to make a backyard barbecue grill.
You are watching the Saturday Early Show on CBS.
It was a launch that any business would envy. Kaile Warren went from being homeless in the mid-1990s to being hosted on some of the biggest TV talk shows in just a matter of a few years. In fact, his home repair company, Rent-A-Husband, was featured on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno just months after he bought his first beat-up truck for $500.
I was born to parents who worked in the construction trades. At the beginning, primarily, it was my dad who taught me the importance of being a craftsman and having pride in doing what you do. And then my mom took over the business, and I got to work with her, and rightly or wrongly, I got to see the great disadvantages that were oftentimes taken of women by people in the construction trades. And I had vowed to one day be able to do something about that, and I think it's just kind of a ironic irony, if you will, that I ended up with this idea for Rent-A-Husband.
But garnering media attention, attracting customers, and selling franchises are very different things. As many small businesses have learned, appearing on Oprah can be both a blessing and a curse when you can't keep up with the onslaught of orders that result.
Because perception can become reality when you have an inverted brand. The perception is that you are a very, very big company, so that becomes reality. That creates expectations. Meeting the expectations of being a very big company while you are a very small company in structure and operational size is very demanding. It's also very, very frustrating on some level, too. So I think that I have...
Therein lies one of the paradoxes of Rent-A-Husband. Thanks to all the press coverage, some experts believed it was once a multi-million-dollar brand, and Warren thinks it still is.
Would you say the company's worth $7 million now?
What I will say is that if we meet our projections over the next 12 months, that this company will be worth far more than $7 million.
But a USA Today investigation has learned that Warren is practically penniless again, is millions in debt, under investigation by Maine securities officials, and the subject of a lawsuit claiming he defrauded a Maine couple when he used their house as collateral for a loan last year. So these often inexperienced investors turned over thousands they say they couldn't afford to lose and even put their homes at risk to help Warren and themselves in the process. The returns their promissory notes promised, 10 to 20% interest in a year or less, were far better than anything the banks or the stock market were delivering. And Warren was guaranteeing their repayment, they say.
And towards the end of March of 2008, I received a phone call that was probably the second worst phone call of my life.
Warren says the main reason he's been unable to pay back investors is because a planned partnership with Ace Hardware, under which Rent-A-Husband franchises would be opened at 100 or more Ace stores, fell apart in early 2008. The investors included Joanne Grace, who, along with her mother and sister, invested more than $250,000 in Rent-A-Husband. Grace is about to lose her home in a short sale because she has been out of work and Warren has not kept up on the mortgage payments he promised to make. Warren said he believed he was current on the payments.
I remember when she went to get the check, my mom had enough money away for burial. She didn't want us children to have to be responsible for that, even though she's an active woman in her 80s. She came out to the table and held that check against her chest, and she says, "I will get this back, right?" And he said, "Yes, I'm going to put the money in and, hold it for you, and in 2 years I'll give you back 20%. I'll do that for you. I usually give 10, but because you're Joanne's mom and you remind me so much of my mom, etc., he said, you will have your money back."
Lynn Lemieux invested her entire 401k, which was everything she had invested for her retirement, in Rent-A-Husband.
I saw this as an investment in a company that was only growing. That's what I heard. A company that was just going to be huge across the United States, internationally. And I believed this. I had no reason not to. I had known Kaile before I went to work for him. I considered him a friend. That was very important to me. It is now 2009, and I have not seen one penny of that investment.
Many didn't notice the language that said if he didn't pay them back, Their investments would be converted into membership units in Rent-A-Husband, a company that has lost hundreds of thousands of dollars for the past 5 years and has no discernible assets, according to plaintiffs' lawyers Kevin Grimes and Michael Waxman.
We'd love to pursue a case. Unfortunately, Kaile Warren, on paper at least, has no money. And so I don't want to subject Joanne to a legal bill of $50,000, $60,000. And at the end of the day tell her, well, you have this bill to me and there is no way to get recovery.
Everyone knew that they were investing in the opportunity to build this relationship with Ace Hardware. Have we built out a key strategic partnership with Ace Hardware? Absolutely. So, again...
They say they have no relationship with you now.
Who?
Ace. They said they have no, I don't remember the word they used, but no formal relationship or no something.
They don't have a corporate ongoing because, excuse me, they don't have a corporate ongoing because they don't have any monies to do anything.
Do you think you were dealing with sophisticated investors who would understand those promissory notes and the risk that they were taking?
Yes.
So is this a story of smart people who, like many in this economy, saw their investments go sour? Or is Warren guilty of securities fraud? That will be up to investigators in Maine to decide. For his part, Warren says it is simply bad timing and bad luck.